Hello, Wilmington, and welcome to this edition of Wildcat Corner. My name is Glenn Brand, and I have the privilege and pleasure to serve as a superintendent here in the Wilmington Public Schools. And I'm thrilled to have a number of our student leaders and building leader, Mr. Gendron, here with us today to share a little insight about some of the really exciting work that's going on at our high school. Wilmington High School is held to high standards not only by our community and our citizens here in Wilmington, but also to those of the New England Association of Schools and Colleges, or NEASC, as it's more widely known. NEASC is a globally recognized standards of excellence institution, and it seeks to accredit and attest to a school's high quality as well as integrity. Our Wilmington High School is accredited with NEASC, as are most high schools in the surrounding areas. And one of NEASC's standards for accreditation for public schools asks schools and their school communities to develop a vision of the graduate. A vision of graduate that serves to identify the school's core values and beliefs about learning in the school. This vision, ideally, should center on the transferable skills, knowledge, understandings, and dispositions necessary for future success. With all of that in mind, I thought it would be a great opportunity to learn more about the vision of the graduate here in Wilmington, because an awful lot of hard work by both students, staff, and school leaders is playing out. So with that, let me pause and let me ask our guests here today to introduce themselves, and just before we hear a little bit more about the vision of the graduate here in Wilmington. Mr. Gendron, thanks for being here.
My name is Ryan Gendron. I'm the principal of Wilmington High School.
I'm Maria Cummings. I am a senior at Wilmington.
I'm Madison Benoit. I'm also a senior.
I'm Connor Crane. I'm a senior at Wilmington High School.
Hi, I'm Katherine. I'm a junior at Wilmington High School.
Well, thank you all for being here and for your willingness to give us a few minutes to share a little more insight around the vision of the graduate here in Wilmington. Maria, maybe you could start us off to sort of explain what is this vision of the graduate all about from the student perspective?
So from the student perspective, ever since freshman year, we had certain videos which kind of introduced us into what the vision of the graduate was. For me, it represents coming into high school and kind of becoming an adult. Even though you feel like you're still very young, you kind of get to know how to work with classmates, work with your teachers, work with your peers, not only in school activities, but also outside, extracurriculars, helps with sports, but then also being able to take that into the real world. Going into senior year, we're kind of putting it more in action with our senior explorations, which we'll get to later. But also taking that into the college process, picking a college that's perfect for us, and being able to move and take these skills into the real world.
Great. That's really insightful, and thanks for sharing that. So when you think about the vision of the graduate, as I understand it, it's about beliefs, it's about values, and it's important to note that it's not NEASC's expectations that each vision of the graduate is the same in all schools. In fact, it's not meant to be that at all. It's meant to be something that's specific for that community. There are some specific mindsets, as I understand it. Connor, could you share a little bit about what the mindsets are that are included in Wilmington High School's vision?
Our vision of the graduate values are learner, leader, contributor, collaborator, and communicator. And so being a leader is how you are leading like your club or your sport or anything in your community. Learner is how you are learning and then bringing that information and helping to lead in your different activities that you do. Communicator is how you receive the information that you then need to convey to whatever you're leading in the community. Collaborator is how you work with others, possibly if you're like a captain and there's multiple different captains of your sport. And then
I think you captured them all.
Okay.
For those that are at home, you can see on the graphic here, it highlights the mindsets that are included in Wilmington's vision of the graduate. And it really sounds, I like the way you described how they really span not just your work as a student in the classroom, but outside of the classroom, outside of the school as well, which obviously is important for our overall mission to try and develop students to be well-rounded both in and outside of school. Maddie, I'm curious if you could share a little bit with our community and watchers about how, especially as a senior, because you've been thinking about this and learning about the vision of the graduate now for a few years, how does it influence your actions in the school community?
I would say that being and learning about the vision of the graduate influences actions not just in our community, but in our life as a whole, because they all work together. You can't be a leader without being a communicator, for example. And I think you can really take those aspects out into the world with you. Like, we're going off to college next year, and I'm going to continue to use these skills that I've learned there as well.
It's great to hear. That's good. Maria, I know that there's been an effort, it sounds like this year in particular, to really enhance the rollout and the focus on Vision of a Graduate within Wilmington High School. And I understand that you've played a fairly important and unique role in helping build the curriculum. Could you share a little bit more with us about that?
Yeah, of course. So originally, when we were freshmen, sophomores, we had videos with kind of just notes, simple notes, but it really didn't have a lot of jazz, is what I'd like to say. It got the point, but it felt like a lot of students weren't as engaged as they could be. So over the summer, Mr. Gendron posted on Classroom saying, if any student would like to help out with this project, I would really appreciate it. I was the only one who emailed back.
That's right.
After Mr. Gendron told me that. So I always felt like the Vision of the Graduate was such an important part of the high school. So with that, I kind of thought like, what kind of way can we engage the students, but also get the point across? So I wanted to do some kind of like interviews. So we have like a little catchphrase, which you'll see in the example. It's a hey, hey, hey. So it's kind of adding an engaging factor inside to something that is so pivotal and really important for the high schoolers.
So we're going to play video here now. Do you want to
Yes.
say anything more about it before our viewers get a chance to see this?
I will say, in my opinion, it's a little cringy when I'm the one hearing myself. But having that engaging factor, a lot of the students will see us in the halls videoing each other, being like, hey, hey, hey. So it kind of gets a sense of community, being able to see a lot of the students around. A lot of students will come up to me and be like, can I be interviewed? Can I be interviewed? Me next. A lot of the teachers can see this and say, wow, that was a really good video. I feel like you should take this point next. Thank you, Miss Kim, for giving me advice. So I think a big factor of that is just the community and being able to see that and kind of having an engaging sense while also being able to learn from it. So here's an example.
Well, let's take a moment and watch the video.
I feel like these leadership positions have helped to like influence your life.
It's definitely given me like new insight on like how I can better relate to people, how I can help people through different challenges, and I think it's going to help whatever career I end up in.
Well, we all can recognize that there's a need to grab attention for all of us with so much stimulation, and so these videos, I'm sure, will go a long way to try and grab the attention of your students and peers and staff. So. Great
and
job,
if I can
Mr.
just
Gendron.
celebrate Maria a little bit more, as Maria said, that message went out on Classroom looking for student voice to go into these lessons. Yeah. Maria was the only person to respond, and the response was, I'm not sure what you're talking about. Anything you need, I'm in. So, for Maria to respond that way, and then for that to be the product, and to see students grades 9 through 11 and 12 watching those videos, excited about the videos, I think it's a testament to your lasting impact on Vision of the Graduate and the high school.
I'd also like to say another big help, Miss Scatch came in. It was her first year, and she's been a big help with at least me planning the Vision of the Graduate things for each month. So she's been a big help. She worked with it at her past school, correct? Mm-hmm. And she's just been able to take that and run with it. So especially now that we're leaving, besides Katherine next year, she's been able to have that foundation for us.
Well, speaking of Katherine, so one of the things that's not unique for all four of you, I've come to learn, is your role in the student council and your commitment to helping foster the growth and real infusion of the Vision of the Graduate into the culture of your school community. But Katherine, what's unique about your presence here today is that you're not a senior.
I know it.
So could you share a little bit with our community about what and how Vision of a Graduate might be different for yourself and your peers who aren't preparing to graduate?
Yeah, of course. So Vision of the Graduate is, like you said, a little bit different for underclassmen. Really, we as underclassmen are learning the values and, as Connor said, like the mindsets of what it takes to go out in the world and, just be able to take what we learn from school and apply them. So as the seniors take the mindsets and they're able to put it into their senior exploration projects, the underclassmen are learning and brainstorming ideas of how they can incorporate the mindsets into future like activities or any like plans that they have.
Great. Thank you so much for sharing that. And it's great to know sort of there's an avenue of opportunity and influence, it sounds like, with the Vision of the Graduate to really be impactful for all students of all ages. So back to our seniors who are here today, there's a real deep connection, as I've understood, between your current status as a senior in the school and the Vision of the Graduate and how that fits into helping sort of guide or helping support senior exploration. Could you share, first off, maybe to start, a little bit about what senior exploration is for those viewers who might not know about it, and then explain a little bit more about how you found the connection?
So senior exploration is basically where, for the last quarter of your senior year of high school, you're either doing an internship in possibly like a field of study that you're interested in, or doing like a community service project that might also be, related to community service or to what you'd be interested in studying in college or in the workforce. And so when we do that, we also have to incorporate like the Vision of the Graduate values and like how you're using each of those different values in what you're doing each day.
Great.
I will say, I will say, we were joking about this earlier. It's not just ice cream and beach trips. So parents beware, like your kid will get work done. Although that might be nice, we are also taking like a big part of the senior exploration so that we can move it into our real like college life. So a lot of people are working on internships, maybe like a law firm if you're going into political science. So it kind of takes that next level.
Mr. Gendron, we've had the chance to hear from our students, obviously. I'm curious, from your perspective as our leader of the high school, how have you come to realize and recognize that the Vision of a Graduate is unique and different than some of the other daily work that might take place in the halls and walls of the school?
Yeah, it's a great program because there are really clear guidelines on what each content area needs to teach during the school day. So we have frameworks for English, and it's really clear the math topics that need to be covered in a class. But the Vision of the Graduate and the 5 mindsets apply to all classes. They apply to academic, extracurricular, and outside of school environments. So it's really an all-encompassing kind of pivotal educational moment. And I think hearing from the students about how they do plan on using this outside the walls of WHS is confirmation that we're on the right track. With the underclassmen, like Katherine talked about, we have a once-a-month advisory where there's like a mini lesson tied to a particular mindset. And like Katherine said, we try to connect real-world experiences and artifacts of things they've done to demonstrate those mindsets. And then, as the seniors talked about, as they launch into senior exploration, their internship or project, really the foundation of it are those 5 mindsets and how they can exhibit them out in the real world. So it's a unique opportunity, but it's one that seems to have strong support from students and staff and families, and something that makes Wilmington High School special.
It's so fantastic to hear, and I'm just thinking about the fact that I mentioned at the outset that it's an expectation for the accreditation process to have this piece in place, but hearing from our students, the student leaders today, it's clear that it has a far deeper impact and reach in terms of helping guide and shape your experiences as students. So a really important thing.
And one more thing, people watching at home, if you get the town crier, you might be familiar with our Vision of the Graduate exemplars, because every month we ask teachers to nominate students who have exemplified that month's mindset the best. And those are the students we recognize as our students of the month. They get highlighted on social media, a picture in the paper, and it's a way for us to recognize a large number of students who are doing the right thing by following these 5 mindsets.
Fantastic. Well, we'll have to look for that. I know I've seen those, and they're great shout outs to our students and their accomplishments and the hard work that so many I know are putting forth in the high school. Well, Maria, Connor, Madison, and Katherine, thanks for your time here today. Thank you for not only serving as student council, but also for your leadership around trying to push this important work forward. There's no question to me it's important, and it's really achieving a lot of ends. So thank you for the legacy that you'll help leave when those of you do graduate and move on. Mr. Gendron, thank you for your support and your leadership. And thank you for filling in yet one more important insight around the great things that are happening at Wilmington High School. Thank you for watching, and until next time, take care, Wilmington.